Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 2. Today, our group will present about our topic entitled Workplace Loneliness. And our group members are Akil, Elia, Sharafana, Ainin, Hazrin and Hanisa.
The introduction of workplace loneliness. Loneliness in Cambridge Dictionary can be defined as the state of being lonely, even though it in our nature to connect. A lot of us experience loneliness frequently. The condition of distress or unease that arise when a person feels that their experience of social connection do not match their desire, for it is known as loneliness. Some people suffer from intense and persistent loneliness even though they are in a long term marriage or are surrounded by others all day long. Studies indicate that loneliness presents significant risk to both overall well being and long term physical health. A person may experience severe feeling of social isolation regardless of their living situation. The feeling of having fewer desirable social contact is known as loneliness. One common misconception about loneliness is that it is caused by a lack of close relationship. But the true causes of loneliness is really a lack of meaningful collaboration. No matter how many of you people are required, loneliness is more closely related to whether or not a person has reached the right degree of high quality contact than it is to the number of relationships they have. The feeling that one's social needs are being met at work is known as workplace loneliness. A model that pinpoints the factors that both cause and contribute to loneliness is offered. Among the risk factors are personality qualities like low self-esteem and introversion, but precipitating factors like physical isolation or independent work responsibilities that prevent a person from meeting their social obligations are closely associated with the workplace. Potential mediator of loneliness perception could be considered cognitive processes such as social comparison and feeling of personal control. The characteristic of workplace loneliness. Firstly, self-determination. Self-determination claims that relatedness and autonomy are what drive people at work. Workplace loneliness correlates with relatedness or the need to feel linked to people, while working from home correlates with autonomy or the need to feel in charge of one's own life. Therefore, it remains to be seen if loneliness at work could have an impact on working from home. Self-determination is the ability and right of individual and group to manage their own life and make decisions that will affect them in their future. It alludes to the political freedom to select one's own position and strive for progress, as demonstrated by the decolonization, independence, and autonomy movement. The psychological importance of relatedness, competence, and autonomy for motivation and general well-being is emphasized by self-determination theory. It grants students the freedom to make independent decisions, set goals, and assume responsibility for their education. Generally speaking, self-determination promotes participation, accountability, empowerment, drive, and cultural preservation. Secondly, social isolation, a state of low social interaction and a sensation of detachment from others. Social isolation can be caused by a number of things, including health problems environmental circumstances, life transition, and technological obstacles. Its impacts are felt on both the physical and mental level. Among them are increased risk of depression, declining cognitive function, long-term illnesses, and unhealthy habits. Community activities, technological advancement, medical intervention, and governmental modification are all included in the spectrum of social isolation intervention.
Next, factors contributing to silence in the workplace. The first is the work condition. Flexible work rules and modern technology offer a higher work-life balance, but they also increase physical and perceived isolation, highlighting the need for organization to provide better options for employees. Flexible work arrangement and the use of the modern technology give us a better work-life balance. However, we cannot deny that this can also increase the feeling of alienation, both physical and perceptually. When employees work remotely or follow a flexible schedule, they do not interact directly with colleagues. This reduces opportunities for meaningful social contact. Therefore, organizations need to provide better options to increase social interaction and a sense of connection among employees. The second is the precipitating and predisposing factor. Trigger factors often associated with the office environment prevent individuals from fulfilling their social needs, such as physical isolation or independent work activities. Predisposing factors include personality and demographic characteristics, with low self-esteem and introversions, making it difficult to make friends at work, and individuals who value is question that value in society. Trigger factors are elements in the office environment that prevent individuals from meeting their social needs. For example, physical isolation such as working in a separate office or remote location, as well as work activities that require individual focus. These conditions reduce the opportunity to interact with colleagues and contribute to a sense of loneliness. And predisposition factors are personal and demographic characteristics that cause some individuals to be more vulnerable to loneliness. This includes personality traits such as low self-esteem and introversions, which make which make it difficult for individuals to make friends at work. Additionally, individuals who doubt their self-worth in society may also have difficulty building strong social relationships at work. By understanding these factors, organizations can take proactive steps to create a more inclusive and supportive work environment, helping to reduce workplace loneliness.
Now we're gonna talk about the effect that this paper studied. First, the effect is workplace loneliness and effective organizational commitment. Effective organizational commitment refer to an employee's emotional attachment, identification with, and involvement in the organization. This type of commitment is characterized by a genuine emotional bond and a sense of belonging where employees feel a strong sense of loyalty and are motivated to contribute to the organization's success because they genuinely care about it. High levels of effective commitment lead to a positive outcomes such as increased job satisfaction, better performance, and lower turnover rates. The link between workplace loneliness and effective organizational commitment. First, emotional disconnect. Feeling of emotional detachment from coworkers and the company at large are brought on by loneliness. Employees who experience isolation are less likely to build the kind of deep connection that strengthens their sense of attachment to the company. Reduced emotional commitment in the organization's objective and core principles may result from this disconnect. Second, decrease interpersonal support. In a collaborative workplace, staff members frequently turn to one another for emotional support, guidance, and teamwork. When these encouraging connections are absent, loneliness sets in, which can lower an employee's emotional commitment to the company as well as their level of job satisfaction. Next, lowered engagement. Employees who feel lonely are likely to be less engaged in their work. Effective commitment and engagement go hand in hand since motivated workers are more likely to form a close emotional connection with the company. Conversely, disengagement brought on by loneliness might erode effective commitment. Reduced job satisfaction also link between workplace loneliness and effective organizational commitment. Being alone makes work more stressful and less pleasurable, which has a negative effect on job satisfaction. Effective commitment depends critically on job happiness. As satisfaction declines, so does the possibility that a worker will have a deep emotional bond with the company. And last, elevated stress levels. Being alone can lead to elevated stress levels, which can subsequently impact on employees' general welfare and perspective toward their company. Effective commitment promoting pleasant emotion can be undermined by long-term stress and negative emotion. Next is detachment from colleagues. Detachment from coworkers is a state in which people feel cut off or alone from their peers at work, especially when discussing lonely employees. There are various ramifications of this phenomenon for the organization and its personnel. Employees who are lonely frequently experience social and emotional isolation from their coworkers. This could show up as a dearth of deep conversation, little involvement in social events, or a sense of belonging and unworthiness on the team. These workers may interact with their coworkers less regularly and candidly. They could shun team gathering, informal talks, and group projects, which separates them even more from the group. There are a lot of impacts on emotional attachment to the organization. For example, lack of sense of belonging. Employees frequently have a diminished sense of connection to the company when they feel cut off from their coworkers. The emotional connection to the job may be weakened by the sense of alienation. Next, diminished engagement. Generally speaking, engaged workers are individuals who have a sense of belonging to the company and their coworkers. Lower levels of involvement might result from detachment, which means that the worker may not feel inspired or dedicated to their job. Next, lower job satisfaction. One of the main factors influencing total job happiness is social context of at work. Employees who are detached could be less satisfied with the job, which increase the risk of disengagement. With this impact, it can have some consequences for the organization, for example, reduced productivity. Workers who don't feel connected to their coworkers may not give the best effort. In order to be productive, cooperation and teamwork are frequently necessary, and the absence might lower output. Said that it also can increase turnover rates. Disengaged and isolated workers are more inclined to quit the company. For the company, high turnover rates can be expensive and disruptive. Last but not least, the poor work environment, a disengaged culture may emerge in an organization where a large number of disengaged workers contribute to a poor work environment that lowers morale.
To conclude, workplace loneliness is a significant and growing issue that affects employees' mental health, productivity, and overall well-being. Then, addressing workplace loneliness requires a comprehensive approach involving supportive leadership so that the workplace environment is more encouraging and with leaders who support all organizations, it will make employees will feel more fun to work. Then, a positive and inclusive organizational culture also plays an important role because it will affect the environment in our workplace. When the organization in the work is positive, it will make our work run smoothly. By prioritizing these areas, organizations can enhance employee well-being and achieve better overall performance. The effective communication strategies are also important in the workplace environment because it is essential in all workplaces. When there is effective communication between employees and leaders, it will lead to a good and inclusive work environment. Therefore, an effective communication strategy will also produce solid results in the job and it will reduce the workplace loneliness. So, workplace loneliness will be reduced and work will run smoothly without the negative environment.